He's saying to me, like, I live for you. There's nothing else for me to live for. I live to see you happy and successful. He said, you're my lucky baby. My life was a disaster. I had been in Europe in the concentration camps and the whole thing until you came and you brought luck to everyone. You're my lucky baby. And he's crying and I'm crying and there's a big mess in the car and the Kleenex are going and, you know, and I go to give him a hug and he goes, okay. But that was good enough, right? Because you know what? I did not want him to leave this earth without me have ever completed that communication with him. And the feeling that I felt from that moment on was such a release that I could only ask that everyone be blessed in that same way. Okay, because I had that with everyone. You know what I was doing? I was waiting in every relationship for someone 10 times a day to say, I love you, I love you. Why? To make up for him never saying it. Do you get it? And once he said that, all of a sudden, I didn't need that anymore. It was like, I can do whatever I want, doesn't matter. So I'm going to invite you to complete with the people that you need to complete with while you can. Clear the resentments, give the communication of love, or whatever you need to do while you still can. How many of you have heard of this saying? Read it with me. What's it say, please?
Success breeds success.
One more time, twice as loud.
Success breeds success.
Thank you. How many people have heard that saying? Remember, we are creatures of what?
Habit.
Creatures of habit. Success is a what? Habit. Success is a what?
Habit.
So is failure. So is mediocrity. And the more you do any of these, the more natural it becomes for you to continue to do it that way. Does that make any sense to you? Yes. When your mind is comfortable with success, then success becomes what? The path of least resistance. The path of least resistance. And success will therefore become normal, natural, and quite automatic for you. How many will notice that there's certain people out there, they're very successful, and success just seems to be their normal way of being. When they do, it's going to be successful. You know, and I'm going to say right now, one of the critical things, we have a program called Success Tracks, we'll hear a little bit about later, but one of the critical things is how people meet each other and they're all moving quickly towards a much, much higher levels of success. And the cool thing is to hang out with people who are successful. Why? It's infectious. It's contagious, yes or no? And when you hang out with people who are the big L word, what's the word?
Loser.
I didn't say that. Then, you learn how to be a loser. And when you hang out with people who are successful, you learn, you get in that. That's the normal, natural way to be. Does that make sense? Yeah. So success breeds success. So how do we utilize this law in our favor? What's the word? The first step is to recognize and acknowledge your successes, your own successes. The key question is this: if you don't recognize your successes, are they successes, at least to you? If you don't recognize them, are they successes, at least to you? Yes or no? Of course they're not. It's your perspective that counts. A lot of people say, well, whatever it was, it was no big deal. They're unwilling to recognize whatever they did as a success. And they say, well, this kind of attitude keeps me motivated. It keeps me striving. And I say, no, this kind of attitude keeps you unhappy, unrewarded, and in a very specific failure pattern. It's essential to recognize your wins and acknowledge yourself for it. Quick example, and it could be like the silliest little things. When I go for a walk, for my exercise walk, when I walk out the door, because how many of you have this experience where, you need to exercise, get out there, but you're a busy person, or sometimes you don't feel like it. Anybody ever had that? So when I actually walk out that door, I have a habit of when I step out the door, when I'm actually going to do this, I go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I pat myself on the back 10 times. For doing it, right? For getting out there and doing it. And when I come back from my walk, for actually doing it and completing it, I do what? Same thing. 10 times, pats on the back, right? So I'm always attempting to be what I'm going to call my own best friend, my own best motivator versus demotivator. You understand what I'm saying? Why don't you pat someone on the back and say, "You're awesome." So it's essential, very essential, that you notice your successes. In fact, again, I'm in our Success Tracks program. One of the things we really do, one of the real critical keys is at the end of each week, we write down at least 5 of our major successes. So you can use those as references for yourself. Now, the other critical aspect about this, the other word, is just as important, and you need to be able to do this. What's the word? One more time, twice as loud. Thank you, thank you. Celebrate your successes. Celebrate your wins. Celebrating our successes nurtures our inner spirit and our inner child, and then we become even more motivated to do good stuff for ourselves. And the problem is that most of us have let some of our greatest successes of our whole life just slide into frickin' oblivion without ever really acknowledging them and celebrating them. And they're basically become useless to us. So we really need to keep our big successes at the forefront of our mind so we can use them as positive references and reinforce our confidence in ourselves and our ability and our pattern of what? Success. Success is a habit. Success is a what? Habit. But if you don't recognize and celebrate those successes, how on earth can you create that habit? You understand what I'm saying here? Yes or no? Yes. You're like not even putting them in the ball game. You're letting them sit out there somewhere. And of course, we were taught when we were young, it's not polite to what? Toot your own horn. And we just lumped all this stuff into that. Okay, I don't know who said that. It's probably somebody who had a broken trumpet. I don't know. Why would I want to toot somebody else's horn anyways? It's full of gob and spit. I mean, if you're going to toot a horn, maybe you should toot your own horn. Yes? That's my thoughts. I mean, all these sayings, really look at them once in a while, you know? You're going to start doing that, aren't you? You heard that, you go, who, mate? You know what? Here's what I want. I live for homework. I want you to go buy a book of fairy tales, children's stories, and read them. They are the grossest. Well, you couldn't, if there was a movie made on those fairy tales, it would be a horror movie. You ever notice this? Oh my God. And we just take it for granted. It just goes in and out. We read these to our young children, you know. So here's what I want you to do. Let's start right now. I want you to write down 3 of the greatest successes of your life. It could be coming from any area. Whatever you perceive to be a great success for you in your life. Whatever's important for you, all right? Now really search your memory banks for 3 of the greatest successes of your life. And just choose. I know you probably have lots of them. Some of you just choose 3 to work with. And some of you might have a hard time even finding one. And all that means is that you're just counting things as no big deal when you need to be counting them as successes. You're just the one who makes the decision right now as to whether something's a success or not. Take a minute to do that, please. Write them down. Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. What I want you to do right now is I want you to leave your notebooks, leave your cups, leave everything over there, right? And I want you to get into an empty space as best you can around the room with a group of a total of 5, maximum of 6 people. 5 or 6 people. Here's what you're going to do now. Standing up like you all are, excellent. You're going to tell, each of you take a turn to tell your group one of the greatest successes of your life. Now, here's the thing. The rest of the group is going to help you what? Celebrate! All right? Shh. Now, the way they're going to do that is by congratulating you like crazy. And the way that they're going to do that is to make sure that their congratulations is physical. What's the word? Physical. Because physical is memorable. Physical is what? Memorable. So, Big high fives, big hugs, slaps on the back. If they're really pretty, slap on the rump, whatever, right? So make it physical, okay? Make sure, those of you who are supporting, make sure this person ingrains into every cell of their body the real win in this. And I want you to imagine, whether you know these people or not, that you are like their best friend, and you really, really care for them, and you want them to win. You understand? And make sure that they know that they won. And again, it doesn't have to be this big extravaganza, catastrophe thing, you know. I stopped Lex Luthor from blowing up the world. No, it can be anything. Anything that you feel. Like, you know, in the past, you've had people who talked about, you know, the birth of a child that they helped create, or they told somebody to buzz off who needed to be told, or they were being held down and done to, and they got out of that. Whatever it was for you know what I'm saying? Whatever that was. So, are you ready to play 100%? Yes. That sounded like about 18%. Are you ready to play 100%? Yes. And support each other, yes? Now, here's what you're gonna do is you're gonna go one at a time around the circle, right? Until the time is up, and you're gonna share one, and if time still remains, then just keep on going around the circle until I ask you to stop, okay? Full on support. It's gonna get loud in here. Begin. One, two, three, yes. All right, hold on, stay where you are, stay where you are. Is there anybody who'd be willing to share with the rest of us what one of their greatest success was? All right, come on up here. Start with your name, okay?
I'm Terrell Johansson, and and this last year, I finally made the assistant captain of my bantam hockey team.
Start with your name.
My name's Trevor, and as all my friends started to sell drugs as a living, I chose to come here and make my life meaningful.
Awesome.
My name is Jackie, and my biggest success is surviving high school.
Good job.
Hello, my name's Darren Johnson, and when I was very young, I was diagnosed with a learning disability. And when I graduated from high school, I had a grade 3 education. I worked for another 3 years or so, and then I went back to school, and in 3 short years, I obtained my high school diploma. One more aspect to that is I also have obtained my bachelor's in technology.
Good job. Right to your mouth.
My name is Milan, and my biggest success was today when I understand that there is another point of view in anything what happens and happen in my life, and that other people deal and do the best they can in the situation. And forgiveness came in my heart, and I feel free to continue with my life.
My name is Jürgen. Many years ago, during my college education, I had an opportunity to participate in professional English horseback riding or training. And in the process, my horse became blind. Or at the very end, it was blind. So they attempted to take the horse away from me, and I insisted to stay with the horse. And we went through the final exam, and it was a big event. The representative from the Bavarian government were there, etc., etc. And so we all were wearing tuxedos, and it was a big event. And I rode the horse, so the entire course of dressage, and at the end, it was announced that the horse was blind. And I was complimented that there was no mistake.
So a perfect score on the blind horse. Awesome.
My name's Linda, and I had a bad relationship, and I ended up being a single mom by 3 months into my pregnancy. So since day one, I've been a single mom. I used to live on $800 a month being a single mom, and still was able to put $100 to $200 away a month for savings.
Good job.
My name is Susanna, and I'm sure half would like this one because I am a monk, and whatever. My sister is a spender, and she wanted to sign up for that quantum leap, and she wanted to go for gold. And I'm like, okay, I'll see if I have money, and I'll call my husband. It was late last night. I remember, who was the one that helping us, Don or somebody? Right there, yeah, he is. And then I was like, okay, I'll call him. But it was late, 11:30. He's going to bed. No, I'm going to call him. And then this morning, my sister asked me to phone him. No, he hasn't get up yet. No, I don't want to phone him. And then I phoned him just when we had that break just now on my cell phone. Hi, I just, we're doing fine here in Red Deer. Just wondering if we have some money and like to sign up for some courses. Oh, okay. Sign up. I'm like, and he is, by the way, a saver. And so I said, you don't even bother to ask me how much? Well, if you think that helps you, sign up.
All right.
Okay. And also he asked me to, so I asked him, but I was signing up for two. You too. And he goes, no, why would I want to go attend course? I said, no, we have to do it together, right? I said, okay. Sign up.
Right,
I was like, okay. And the phone was 4 minutes and 58 seconds, less than 5 minutes, and I did it. $10,000.
Awesome. You know, there's a saying that says, when you change, the world changes with you.
My name is Kurt, and I wrote a game that's distributed with Windows called Minesweeper.
Hi, my name is Aline, and I successfully am alive. I am no longer allergic to everything on earth, and I've put on 60 pounds and moved to a new city where I know no one except everyone here.
All right, good job. So what your name was again? Eileen. Get to know her. She doesn't know anybody, right? Now you have 600 new friends. Yeah, right. Let's go right over here. She's been waiting.
My name is Tracy, and a little similar to one of the guys. A few years ago, I saved up about $20,000, quit my job, and moved to Australia for a while.
Awesome. Thanks for your support, everybody.
My name is Annette, and I just got accepted into a master's program, and I've never been to college before.
My name's James, and I grew up in an environment that was really, really hostile. And so I finally got the gumption and the wherewithal to leave that place back in the East, and I now live in Seattle. It's much better.
Awesome.
Hi, my name's Diana, and my biggest thing in my life has always been to teach and help people. And through the company I was with, I had the ability and the knowledge to help my father beat cancer.
I think there's a couple more here.
I'm Stan. Since this is about money, I've raised $12 million for 3 small companies in the past 3 years in spite of tough market conditions.
My name is Brenda, and I just completed last week my very first screenplay.
My name is Gordon. About 2 years ago, my boss's boss came to me and said, I need to double your sales target midpoint of the year. So I went to my wife and said, listen, I need to well off. I can go up and do some sales. I went off and sold, and I sold, and I sold, and I came back at 450% of my new sales target.
My name is Rod. About 1990 or 89, I started a company because I was only making $17,000 a year, and I got on a probation with BC Hydro, and in 3.5 years I went from making $17,000 a year to making millions of dollars with Hydro, and then I got hurt and I lost a leg, and I'm going to do it again because I got a foot to stand on now.
My name is Robin, and one of my greatest successes was 5 years ago. I was told that I could never get pregnant, and I naturally conceived triplets and gave birth to them without any problems. They were 5 pounds apiece, and they are the healthiest, strongest, ongoing children.
Hi, my name's Diane, and I had a dream 20 years ago that when I met my husband, that we were going to go traveling and I was going to teach English. Well, a lot of things happened in between, but 3 years ago, I said, this is the year that we're going to do it. So we sold everything we owned, we packed up a van, we drove down to Mexico, and I taught English to grade 1 students in Puerto Vallarta.
Awesome.
My name is Morgan, and in grade 12, I joined my shop class, and my teacher asked me if I wanted to try drag racing, and I thought, hey, what the heck, I'll try drag racing. So Vancouver Island, I started racing all the strips, and being the only girl driver, I thought I was just glad to be there, but I also won the championship of the year.
Thanks. My name's Valerie. The last 2 years of my life, I've had the most beautiful little golden retriever puppy in my life. I've worked very hard training her, and those of you who know her, love her, I think. Anyways, 2 weeks ago, she graduated as a St. John's Ambulance therapy dog, which means that she's well behaved enough and friendly enough to go into hospitals and help people that aren't feeling that well. So we're very proud of that.
Hi, my name is Joyce, and 4 years ago I was going to take my instrument flight test, and I was so nervous that I blew it right away. But I kept on and I finished everything else that had to be done and didn't sleep all night, and the next day I went back, took the first part that I needed to finish, and got my instrument ticket.
Hello, I'm Zinata. I'm the Greek lady. Everybody's referring to that. Last year, I got my PhD in linguistics. Now, that's not the most important thing. I didn't go to receive it. It was in South Africa. And you know who gave it out? Nelson Mandela.
My name is Carl. About 10 years ago, I wrote a song for a man named Rock Voisine, and it sold 1.5 million copies on his album, and I also played guitar on his top-selling single, which was 3 million copies worldwide.
Awesome, good job. Okay.
My name is Sammy. A few years ago, I was a radio announcer in British Columbia. And I was doing all these shows, and these kids would be coming on the show, and I couldn't understand why 1 out of 3 kids was smoking. And even though they knew, we all know that's going to kill everybody eventually. And 1 out of 4 is dropping out of school, and it was causing a huge amount of problems in our society. And so I couldn't understand what was going on, and I came up with this vision. This vision just came to me, that I could actually do something about that. And I started the Rewards Foundation, and it is now, within 6 months, we're hoping to have our first pilot project starting up. And all we're planning on doing is giving kids a contract from grade 6 to grade 12. If you don't smoke and you graduate high school, we're going to pay you $5,000. It's never been done. Thank you.
All right. Good job. Thank you. We're running out of time here, but I do want to take just a couple or 3 more. Now, here's the decision, though, of who's coming up here. What I want to do, I want you guys to nominate full on, and I'm just it can't be everybody here, right? But I want someone up here who would never dream in their wildest eons of living that they would ever walk on a stage in front of 600 people. They would never do that, not a chance in the world. That's me. That's you? All right, drag them up here. Drag them up here. I mean, if they say, no way, I'm not doing it, then put them in a headlock. Bring them up here. So let's really support these people here, okay?
Hi, I'm Felicia. I was standing back there and I was arguing so much with the mind chatter not to come up here, right? But one of the major successes in my life is raising my sons. I've got 2 sons until they were adults. And the reason I say this is because as a small child, I was abandoned by my mother, and life without a mother was not easy. So that's a great success for me.
All right, good work. All right.
My name is Nancy. When I was 5, I was sexually abused, and I finally forgave him today.
All right.
My name is Peter. One of my biggest success was finally telling my father how much I appreciate what he's done for me all my life and how much I love him. Took me almost 40 years to tell him that.
Hey, in November, I quit smoking and I quit doing drugs. And 2 weeks ago, when I came to the introduction, I decided it was time to quit drinking too.
My name is Leora. One of the successes that I was telling my group about, which is important to state this as a success because it feels like so much of a failure. But 10 years ago, I was working in an office and they renovated and I got a huge chemical exposure. And that triggered fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. And it's been really deadly. And there's been a number of times where I literally, physically, and spiritually felt like I was dying. And I couldn't get up to help myself. And right now I think I've got a total of $20 in the bank and a little bit of cash in my wallet. I had to move heaven and earth to come here. And I always thought that I had to get better before I could make money. But I need money to get well and to live. So I got stuck in this catch-22 situation. However, I'm here and I'm going to start moving forward even though I'm not completely recovered yet because I've been convinced that I can do it.
Very good. Give him a round of applause. All right. Good job. Look, she brought up a really valid point. That's what Warrior's all about. You succeed in spite of anything. Anything. You got a broken nose? Go up. You got fibromyalgia? Keep going. You got no head? Keep going. You're barfing, you're puking, you're lying, you're bleeding? Get up. Keep going. You succeed in spite of what? anything. Fill in the blank. It doesn't matter. Because that's the pattern. See, that's the formula. If you let one thing take you out, then you'll let basically anything take you out. It's just a question of what degree. But when you train yourself as a warrior to never let anything get in your way, no matter what situation you're in, then you have trained yourself to never let anything as an absolute, again, a warrior, succeed or die, one of the two. So, perfect example. If a warrior had fibromyalgia, do you think they would say, well, I'm sorry, I have fibromyalgia right now, so you can just go ahead and chop my head off? You understand what I'm saying? No, they would do what they have to do without regard of what problems and obstacles they face. We all have challenges. The biggest one is right there. What will you let take you out? What will you let take you out? Nothing. Talk is cheap. Good job. I want to take one or two more here.
Oh, hi. I'm Doug, and thanks to Harv, first of all, giving me the lottery ticket and Nanaimo to attend this course. I brought my friends and family for my business. Basically, what I wanted to tell everybody is I haven't spoken to my father in about 6 years. I have a 2-year-old son who he's never seen. Thanks to my family and this man, I called him about a half an hour ago.
Hey, yeah, my name is Mike. My success actually came about 6 months ago. My son was born.
Good job, good job.
Hi, my name's Doug, and my success is being willing to have the guts to actually take this course, because this is going to change. It's actually changed my life already, so this is huge for me.
My name is Marie. I'm 86 years old. I don't know where to start for successes. I raised 2 daughters alone. My husband died just before the second daughter was born. And I passed 3 state boards in Michigan, 1 for insurance, 1 for real estate, and cosmetology. And I learned to play the organ, and that was especially touching to me because my mother always said, Marie, I want you to be able to play a church organ. And on Mother's Day, I played my first church service back.
Her next big success is coming to warrior training, right? Now, I'm asking you, we've had, it'd be perfect for you. You would take the cake. We have had a 79-year-old, and we've had plenty in their 70s. We have had paraplegics, quadriplegics. We've had people with basically no head. I mean, we've had, no, I mean half a head. I mean, you know, serious stuff there. And we've had everybody under the sun, and it's just an amazing experience. So I'll see you there.
Hi, my name is Ted. After spending 20-some odd years buried in a bottle, I've spent the last 8 years sober. And I do. I celebrate that and thank God for that every day.
All right, good job. Good job. Okay, where's...
Hi, my name is Julie, and I am a multimillionaire, and I'm on my way to a lot more.
That's cool. There we go. Excellent, excellent. All right, good job. Excellent work, Julie. Good job.
My name is Gerard, and This is one of the biggest successes of my life. Just standing here and talking in front of people, because it's a huge fear of mine, but it's a huge desire to be able to stand in front and do some of the same things that Harv does. I was always told that I wouldn't amount to much. They lied. And a huge success for me is that I've been able to be able to work and to allow my wife to choose to stay home and raise our children, our 3 children.
All right. All right, Tony Robbins, look out, buddy. All right. So that's all the time we have. That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah. All right. We're all winners, aren't we? Yes. The only thing is we have to recognize that, yes? Yes. All right. How y'all doing? Yes. Good. That sounds good. That sounds good. You know, some people, they get the impression that it's not okay to just let loose and have fun and whatever. You know, you kind of like to take a look at what's natural. What's what? Natural. And generally when you were a little baby, a little toddler, that's pretty natural, right? We don't have a lot of stuff yet. And how do they act? You know, they just let their spirit roam, and if they want to dance, they dance, and they sing, and they sing, and they, you know, they belt it out. You know, and everything else is just kind of held back. So it's okay to just kind of let it go and have fun. I mean, that's a cool thing to do. It's a natural thing to do. Everything else is kind of unnatural. It's very normal, right? Lots of questions over the lunch break about programs, education fund, all that kind of stuff. I can't get into all of them, but as far as the quantum is concerned, my opinion, very simply, why bother doing that? What's it all for? Why do we install? I'm not going to get into all that, but I'll just simply say this. There's really a couple of levels you want to look at. One level is the unconscious level. What's it called, please? And I would say most people out there, not in here, are very, very, very slightly unconscious. All right? They don't watch. They are not observant of themselves. They are not watching their mind. They don't even know that there's a separation between themselves and their mind. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they think that what their mind says is accurate. They think what their mind says is true. They buy into it. They buy into the recording, yada, yada. They don't even know they're conditioned. You know, they just think this is who they are. This way. They don't realize that there's another level to play at. And that level is the conscious level. What's it called? Conscious level. And consciousness is just all about, I was saying to somebody outside there, consciousness is all about really being able to live from who you are in the present moment, from true choice, from true what? Choice in the present moment versus being run by programming from the past. So that when you come into the present moment, then you can have true choice in there. I've had several people, and I was mentioning somebody outside in the hallway, I had a little conversation, and I've had people come up here and say, you know, which is pretty normal, oh man, when I walked in here, I was so skeptical, you know, that kind of thing. And that's pretty normal. But now I really, really feel like I've made some major shifts. I have different ways of thinking about things, and I'm so happy that I came. And they kind of like sometimes say, I was so skeptical. And one of the things I want everyone to realize is that we live a world of duality. Remember? What appears to be duality anyways, when you're, at least in your lower self. And you've got two sides of the same coin all the time. So there's nothing wrong with being skeptical. Don't put that down, right? But there's something wrong with skepticism running you. That's a different story, isn't it? So when you're, quote unquote, skeptical and you're always skeptical, that's a problem. Right? When you're skeptical, sure, sometimes you should be skeptical. Sometimes you need to be one way. Sometimes, you know, someone was mentioning that they have a wall that they put up. Well, yeah, you know, sometimes it's appropriate to put the wall up, isn't it? You're not going to walk into a corporate meeting, oh, I love you. It's just at this point in time. So the only difference is if the wall's always up, then it's a problem, right? So we have this duality. Do you understand what I'm saying? So consciousness is being able to be present in the moment and choose wisely in the moment, drawing from all of yourselves, all of who you are, the best of you. So, for example, I don't think there's anything more effective than anybody knowing the warrior inside them. Everyone's got a warrior in them, right? And that's the one who takes action. That's the one that will never be stopped. That's the one that will frickin' do it, okay? No matter what is in front of them. But everyone's got that, but most people haven't learned how to access it, and they don't even understand. They don't recognize it. Oh, I don't really have that in me. Oh, yes, you do. Where was the lady? What was her name? Marie, where are you? Marie, are you here? Marie, good. You did a great job before, by the way. Yeah. But yes. So, Marie, I'll just say right now, there's nothing wrong with your voice, okay? You believe that you got a soft voice. You don't have a soft voice. No, you don't, do you? But when you're done with Warrior, they're going to hear you from the mountaintops because that's inside you. Now, do you want to be always like that? I don't think so, okay? No, but many times during the day do you need to bring out your Warrior? Oh, totally. How many times you just don't feel like doing something, right? And so you want to be able to access your strength, your power at will. But you want to live in that? Not necessarily. Not every moment of the day. You'd get really tired, right? But you want to have that access when you need it. Boom! It's just right there. When you need to lead, it's right there, right? And the other program is Wizard Training. Wizard Training. Do you want to live in Wizard? Yeah, you want to live in Wizard and then utilize the Warrior at will. What's the Wizard? The Wizard is really all about not only manifesting in your life, creating the life you want using universal and natural laws and being in alignment with them, but it's about manifesting with elegance and grace. So I'll put it this way. The Warrior, whatever the frick goes. All right? It's done. Okay? I don't care what has to happen. It's done. The Wizard, with a big smile, elegance, grace. So in the Wizard, it's all about really staying calm and peaceful and centered regardless of anything. In the Warrior, it's success regardless of anything. You marry the two, and now you have success with being calm and centered and peaceful. Nice way, yes? Yeah. So those are the kind of archetypes that we use. But I'll tell you what, you have them in you. It's just a question of how do you access them and how quickly can you access them and put them in there. And can you recognize them? So long story short, the idea is that once you have unconsciousness, then you have consciousness. Once you're into the consciousness realm, then you have mastery. And mastery is at an upper level, and mastery is all about the elements of money, of happiness, and about love, right? So that's what mastery is all about. Now, all I'm going to suggest here is that for those people who have been asking, is that, as I mentioned earlier, the Millionaire Mind Intensive is a very specifically designed program, and it is a program designed to teach you primarily who you're not. Understand? You're not all that old garbage and tape and all the stuff people told you and all that. You're not that, right? And so the Millionaire Mind Intensive is down here. And it's our first step in what we do. There's 6 here. There's actually 7 full-on steps. And so what the quantum does, and then we kind of go up here. And what the quantum does is it takes people in this really systemized, progressive way through the steps to get to where most people want to be. See, raise your hand if you would like to be a really powerful, yet loving, calm, centered person. And really rich. So we find most people have that in common. Those are our goals, right? And so that's where it takes you through. So I'm trying to give you what people are asking me all the time, what's it all about, why the programs, and what. And by the way, here's the beautiful part. Every program is so different in how it approaches things, but I'll just say this, every one of them keeps its promise. Whatever it says is going to be the outcome of that program, man, does that seem to be the outcome for most people. So that's the Quantum Leap program all through the steps. And why is it important? Because everything is energy. Everything is what? Everything is what? Energy. Everything is energy. So there's a certain energy with who you are right now, yes? And there's a certain energy as who you were before the weekend, yes? And the question is, when you leave here, what kind of energy you're going to be, and in 2 months from now, what kind of energy are you going to be, right? So the thing about energy is that people are very much like a car. I should say, a car is very much like people. So what we do is we actually create things in our own image. So a car actually needs energy on an ongoing basis, yes or no? And it needs maintenance on an ongoing basis, yes or no? You don't have to. But if you don't put any gas in the car, what's going to happen? You're not going anywhere. Anybody relate? So you say, well, what a drag I have to constantly keep putting gas in that car. Well, I'm sorry, it's just the way it was designed. I didn't design it, but that's the way it is designed. So let's utilize the way it's designed, and yes, we have to put gas in every certain number of miles. Yes? Okay. Oh, I don't want to continuously have to take courses and programs and educate and keep on growing. Why should I have to do that? I'm sorry, I didn't do the designing. We only recognize that's the way it has to be if you want the thing to run on an ongoing basis. That makes sense? Yeah. So yeah, you need to continuously put energy in. Sorry, you know. All right. So, well, but it costs money to do that. Yeah, and gasoline costs money too. It's just the way it is. You understand where I'm coming from, right? So you want to stay in the energy, and if you can do the programs, if you can get to all the programs, you know, over the next 2 years, all I'll say to you is the people who are taking the quantum, and I know a whole bunch have already gone involved in it, and the only reason I'm mentioning it now is actually not for my benefit, but it's for your benefit. I'll tell you again, I've told you before, I'll tell you again, every one of you could join quantum, and 50 of your friends could join quantum and pay triple the price. You couldn't affect my lifestyle 1 iota, 0, nothing. Do you understand that? I don't need another boat. You get it? I don't do this for another boat. So the only reason we put quantum in there was to save you money and make your growth automatic. Make it so that you don't have to think about it. Without tooting our own horn, I have to say we're fairly proficient in the way the mind works and the way humans work and getting people to their human potential. And in the same way we understand, and I hope you understand, that the less you have to think about this, the better off you are. Yes or yes? Just it's a mechanical thing. There's my check, 1, 2, 3, 4. You do that for a few years, you're free. That's the end of it, right? It's a system. Takes you out of it. That's why quantum was designed. It's a system. This is a system for financial success, for your finances, right? It's a system for your finances, yes? Quantum is a system for your education. It's a system. We don't want you having, oh, should I take this course? Maybe now, maybe I don't know. There you go again. What's your mind mostly going to do? Keep you it's its job, right? So we want to take that away from you. We don't want you thinking about it anymore. That's why we employed quantum to save you a bunch of money and to create this system so that, all right, I'm in quantum. Okay, decisions over. Thoughts are gone. No more thinking involved. You just show up and play. And then the only thing we ask you to do is one thing. Write a one-pager on where you are today in your life, even after this seminar, like right after. Because most are going to be some very, very sharp and very wonderful energy. Right after, this energy. And then, in 2 years from now, once you've gone through the quantum program, now you write another page. And as incredible as you feel today, and when we're done, you watch. You're just going to be a different person 2 years from now. Not that there's anything wrong with you, but you'll know how to access all the parts of you. And it'll be much more natural for you to be in your higher self. Do you understand what I'm saying? We all have that ability to be there, yes or no? Yes. But for most of us, we live most of our day in our lower self. Just the way it is. Those people who seem to go through the programs, they seem to live a good portion of their life in their higher self, in their true self. In their most powerful and their most peaceful self. In their happiest and their most successful self. So that's a little indication about the power of quantum. And I would never harp on it in any way, shape, or form if I hadn't seen with my own eyes what happens for people. It blows me away. It blows me away. You guys are so freaking amazing. You have no idea. We just take it to another level, that's all. We just help you access where you're already at. The potential you've already got. Okay. Last but not least, the only other reason I can think of is, of course, to save money. But one of the things we do is when people commit, we commit to them. And so one of the things we've always done is quantum members have first crack at the dates and times of the programs. And it never used to be as crucial as it is now. But I'll tell you right now, the difference between quantum members and a non-quantum member in at least 2 of the programs coming up is the difference between next year and 2-year wait. That's the way it is. So and this year, and a 2-year wait for some of them. And of course, because quantum includes success tracks, VIP seating is already included. So those are some of the questions people had around the quantum, why do we put it out there and all that kind of thing. Because we know when you stay in the energy, then it's very hard to slide back. Y'all got it? Okay, let's have some fun here. How many people heard the saying, it's not just what you know, it's who you know? Good. How many people believe that saying? I believe that saying. How many people believe that contacts are important for both business and friendship? Very good. So, and I'm asking this, how many of you would love to get the assistance and support of everybody in this room helping you get something that you want? Wouldn't that be nice? We're going to play an amazing networking game where that's what's going to happen. Virtually everyone in the room is going to help you get what you want. How many people is that? Let's see. Well, there's a saying that says each person generally knows about 200 people as acquaintances. Your doctor, your lawyer, your grocer, your friends. Yes? And there's about 650 people here. What's 650 times 200? Who can tell me? Lots. Okay, what else? 130,000 people. And how does that happen? Because when you get assistance from someone, it's not just from them, but it's from everyone they know. Got it? So how many people right now, in the next hour, would like to get assistance from 130,000 people? There you go. This is a wonderful game. I wish I would have made it up. I only made up the modifications to the game. The game was originally made up from people down in California with something called the Free Enterprise Forum, and led at that point in time by Bernie Dorman and a whole host of group of people. He was the lead guy. And the game is actually still played down there. You can go to Irvine, California and play the game. The only distinction is it's going to cost you $5,000 US to play. And it's over 4 days. But they do a great job down there. All right. We're going to play it right here now. Good or good? Good. Very good.
This part of the course needs to be experienced to benefit from the process. To participate in this course, contact Peak Potentials at 604-983-3344.
One, two, three, yes. Okay. Remember the process of manifestation. The process of what? Manifestation. What is it? Your thoughts lead to your feelings, which lead to your what? Actions, which lead to your what? Results. Now, which one is the highlighted one? Which one? Action. How many people agree that to succeed in the real world, which world? We need to take action. Why is that? Well, let's see in the real world. Thoughts and feelings, are they part of the inner world or part of the outer world? Inner world. Results, are they part of the inner world or part of the outer world? Outer world. And therefore, that makes action the what? The what? The bridge. The bridge between the inner world and the outer world. Because you know what? Let me just say this right now. Those of you who might know me personally, or those of you, of course, everyone in the back, people who have taken our programs and stuff, they'll know a little bit more about me. And I'll tell you right now, to a fault, I am a one kind of person. I'm a very results-oriented person. And the only reason I talk about universal principles, natural principles, nature, yada, 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 all the woo, all the foo-foo, all the caca, all the stuff, is because if it didn't work to put money into your bank on a Friday afternoon, trust me, I wouldn't talk about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? If it doesn't work in the real world, I could care less. So I'm only interested in what works in the real world, and it just so happens that universal principles work in the real world. I suppose so. So, you can think about success all you want. You can meditate till you're blue in the face. You can visualize forever, but I tell you what, I meditate all the time. I have never sat there meditating, oming, or anything of the sort and had a bag of money drop on my head. So in the real world where I live, you actually have to take action. What's the word? Action. To get any real results in the real physical world. Do you understand that? So you have to go from the inner world to the real world. And the process of doing that is the process of action. The process of what? Action. So, since action is so important, and we all know about that, what is it that then stops us from taking the action we know we need to take? What's the word? Fear. I can't hear. One more time. Fear. Thank you. Fear. How many people agree that fear and doubt and worry are among our greatest obstacles to success? And among our greatest obstacle to what? Happiness. To what? Happiness. Now, since fear is such a big part of our lives and such a big obstacle, it is absolutely imperative that we understand what fear is. So, the definition of fear is what? The definition of fear is what? Read it with me. One more time, twice as loud, please. Anticipation of pain. False evidence appearing real is an acronym, not a definition. You got it? It's a very good acronym, by the way, for this particular situation, but it's an acronym nonetheless. All right, now we can do something with this definition. When is anticipation? Past, present, or future? Future. Is future real or is future imagined? Let's test that out. I want you to do me a favor. Are you willing, yes or no? Okay. I want you all to raise your hand tomorrow. All right. You said you'd do this, right? Let's try it again. Everybody now, raise your hand tomorrow. What is the problem with that instruction? Yes, tomorrow doesn't exist, so virtually it's impossible to raise your hand. Yes? All right. So tomorrow doesn't exist in reality, but it sure does exist one place. Where's that? In our mind. And the same goes for fear. Since fear is in the future, then fear must only exist where? In your mind. The proof of that is two people going to come up here to do a speech. One person is jazzed. Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk to 650 people. The other person is frickin' petrified. You understand? Where's the fear? Is it out there? Is it on here? No, it's right here. So, the mind has a very specific job, and its job is survival. What is it? Survival. And therefore, its primary role is protection. What's the word? Protection. Now, very important that you get this, because this next section here, as long as many other things we talk about, will change your life. If you really understand this, you will change your life right here and now. Valuable, valuable information. Your mind is like a sentry on the ship. The what? The sentry on the ship. Tell me, what's the sentry's job? To be the what? To be the lookout. To be the what? The lookout. To look out, to warn of danger, yes? And that's why it's constantly scanning for what's wrong or what could go wrong in any situation. Yes or yes? And it wants to do a really good job. It wants to feel important, so it's always screaming, look out, be careful, trouble over here, trouble over there. And meanwhile, everything's just fine. You can compare your mind to an over-worried mother. It has incredibly positive intention, but it will drive you freaking crazy if you listen to it. Who can tell me what the mind's favorite phrase is? Here it is. Listen closely. Shh. 2 words. What if? What if? What if this happens? What if that happens? Right? What if? Notice, what if is when? Past, present, or future? Future. Therefore, it's what? Imagination. Your mind is the greatest soap opera script writer in history. It creates incredible stories, usually disaster dramas, of things that have never happened and most likely never will. Mark Twain said it best. He says, I've had thousands and thousands of problems in my life, most of which never actually happened. You get it? Yes or no? The key distinction is that your mind does not make up reality. It makes up interpretations and stories about reality. And what follows is that we tend to buy into those stories as if they were real, and then we live our lives from there, from the stories versus the reality. And the secret to freedom, the secret to what? Is to realize that you don't have to believe your own mind. You don't have to believe the chatter. You don't have to believe the story. You don't have to believe the voice in your own head. You don't have to believe your own thinking. You can simply observe it and say, thank you for sharing, and then take the necessary action towards your happiness or success. Understand? Now, one of the biggest mistakes most people make is waiting for the feeling of fear and the mental chatter to subside and go away before they act. And these people usually wait forever. We teach an incredibly powerful, world-class program. It's world famous also. It's called the Enlightened Warrior Training. And in that program, we learned that the true warrior can tame the cobra of fear. What's the key word? Tame. It doesn't say kill the cobra. It doesn't say get rid of the cobra. And it sure doesn't say run away from the cobra. It says what? Tame the cobra of fear. It is not necessary to try and get rid of fear in order to succeed. And don't count on the chatter going away either. So the goal is simply this. You've got your fear, and that doesn't have to go away. But this is what does have to happen. What's it say, please? Nice and loud. The key to success is to learn to do what? One more time, twice as loud. Act in spite of fear. Act in spite of fear. Susan Jeffers wrote a wonderful book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. The fact is this. Rich and successful people have fear. Rich and successful people have worries. Rich and successful people have doubts. They just don't let those things stop them. Unsuccessful people have those same feelings, but they let them what? Stop them cold. Fear is part of every successful person's life. So, how do you develop the trait of action in spite of fear? There's one word. You have to practice. What is it? It's a training. You have to practice it. You have to practice taking action regardless of all and any obstacles. You got it? I can't hear you at all. Yes. It's like a training. It's a conditioning process. I adapted a few sentences from a Nike ad. And the Nike ad says this. Do not resist chances. Take them like vitamins. Let go of the brakes. Do not worry about the bumps and the bruises. You can take them. Don't steer around what scares you. And then we added a warrior saying here. Go over, under, around, or through. Do something that others will be terrified of. You will feel your chin rise up from your chest, and there will be one less thing you cannot do. Just frickin' do it. Give it a hand. So, that's, by the way, a warrior saying. You can say it with me. Listen closely. It goes like this. Over, under, around, or through, whatever it takes, I'll do. Say it with me. Over, under, around, or through, whatever it takes, I'll do. You didn't say that like warriors. I'm going to give you one more chance. Let me hear it. Over, under, around, or through, whatever it takes, I'll do. So, how many of you are willing to practice taking action in spite of fear? Practice action, taking action in spite of doubt, in spite of worry, in spite of discomfort, in spite of inconvenience. Let me just say this right now. There's two kinds of people in the world. And if your life is based on comfort and convenience, and those are the priorities of your life, you can expect a life full of mediocrity. Because you know what? A life of success and achievement has nothing to do with comfort and convenience. Do you understand? Yeah. Do you, yes or no? Yes. Go find a very rich person or a successful person and talk to them about comfort and convenience. They'll laugh. What is that? That's for moderate people. Mediocre at best. Comfort is very highly overrated in our society. Convenience? Oh, it's not convenient. I actually have to go a little out of my way. Well, you know what? Be a freaking warrior and make it your way. Look, what's going to stop you? Whatever's going to stop you, any level that will stop you is the level that will take you out. So the level of obstacle that can stop you is the level where you stop. You have to be bigger than all obstacles. Nothing can take you out. Do you understand? Yes. I can't hear. Yes or no? Yes. All obstacles. It's not the level of the obstacle, it's the level of you. How many people are willing to start to practice acting in spite of fear? Acting in spite of doubt. Acting in spite of worry. Acting in spite of inconvenience. Acting in spite of discomfort. Acting when you're not in the frickin' mood. Yes? 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 Yes. How many people heard the saying, talk is cheap? So we brought a little exercise with us as usual.
Again, this next part of the course needs to be experienced to benefit from the process. To participate in this course, contact Peak Potentials at 604-983-3344.
Okay, let's see. Did anybody learn anything from that exercise? What did you learn? Who would like to share something that they learned? Let's see, what did you learn over here? Shh. Act in spite of fear. How many of you had some mind frick going on where you had a little bit of fear, yes? But did it stop you? No. Are you still around? Yes. That's a good sign. Yes, good. What did you learn? Yes. Focus beyond the barrier. That's excellent. Good. What else did you learn?
Sometimes to break through the fear of failure, you got to try a couple of times.
Absolutely. Excellent. Very good. Good. Right over here.
For me, I like to go first because waiting is way harder than doing it.
So going first, what?
Acting quickly or just, diving into what it is I'm afraid of.
In other words, you don't want to get caught up in all what we call the mind frick, right? How many think that's a good idea? Excellent, yes. Right over here, right here.
It wasn't as difficult as it first seemed.
Give her a hand, excellent work.
Well, at first I thought, okay, I'm going to break through this with my strength because I'm a strong person. I'm like, ooh, and I didn't break through it. And I actually had to go to the end of the line and had to watch everybody else do it. And it wasn't until after I came back and I looked at it and I just took my mind out of it and just said, I am not going to be afraid of rejection anymore. And I just...
She's happy. So hold on to the mic. Hold on to the mic. Question is, what did you learn?
Not to listen to the voices, I guess.
That's a good thing, isn't it? Yes? Very good. Excellent. Very good. Who else learned something? What were some of the elements that you utilized that worked for you? Pissed off. What did that allow you to do, to bring out in you? What was it? Energy, right? So you need to upgrade your energy when it's time to do that. You have to be able to manage energy. Again, that's the distinction between wizard and warrior. Two completely different energies, but you got to be able to dance between them. Yes or yes? Yes. Totally different life when you're able to do that. What else did you learn that worked for you? What's that? Persistence. How many people found persistence was necessary for you? How many people found that persistence was necessary for somebody in your group? Very good, yeah. So it's easy to give up after one time, isn't it? Oh, it's too hard. I gotta hurt myself. Blah, 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 barf, 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 barf. Yeah. Courage. I found the courage was important. The willingness to really commit. Yes. What's the word I just used? How many people found that when you committed 100%, it was easy? How many people found that when you didn't commit 100%, there was always a problem? Commitment is critical. It is absolutely critical in all areas of manifestation. Again, this is one of the things I truly believe, and it's a big part of one of the programs. G.H. Murray said this. This is one of my favorite sayings. Somebody said this. when one is committed, providence moves too. I so believe that. The minute you are truly 1,000% committed, the universe will bend over backwards to assist you. All right, what else did you learn? Momentum. How many people found the momentum was important, yes? Very good, good. In fact, how many of you find that right now, you could probably do a heck of a lot more than you would on a normal day? Right? Because you're in the energy, right? You got to be able to muster. That's again where the warrior is. Mustering that energy and be able to utilize that energy at will. All right, yes. Accepting support from others. How many people found that was important, yes? And supporting others. How many people found that not only was that important for them, but it was more fun when you supported, yes? Very good, good, good. Now, how many of you found, again, that your mind had created, especially with my story, which is absolutely and perfectly true, a little bit of drama and disaster around the whole thing prior to actually doing the event, yes? Right, right.
I'm Terrell. I learned that if I focus on what I want to do and concentrate, then I can accomplish anything.
Ready to go, Terrell. Good job. Yes, you can. That's a good point that Terrell made. This is something you're going to learn in warrior training, okay? You don't know this. You only think you know this, but you don't know this until you've done this. There's nothing that can stop you out there. Only you. And only when you stop, that's when the game's over. Otherwise, the game's still on, and nothing can stop you out there. Only this. That's the only thing. When you know that, when you've experienced it, then you look at everything differently. See, here's the difference. Most people go into things to try it and see if it works. Yes? I'll try this business and see if it works. Let's see if we can get this to work. Warriors don't even go there. A warrior says, I'm making this work. They don't go in to see if it's going to work. They go in, I'm making this work. It's simple. You have to understand something about the warrior here. It's very simple. That's what I'm trying to move you towards here. It's a different life. It's not about whether it will or if it will. It's about just making sure it happens. It's just going in there to do it. To do it. Whole different intention. Whole different intention. One thing about a warrior. See, a true warrior, like in the battles, if the warrior in battle doesn't succeed, what's the consequence? Yeah, they're dead. So it's either succeed or die. Nobody cares. Oh, I didn't really feel like fighting that day. Or, I had a hurt hand. And besides, my sword wasn't really sharp. You know why? Because none of those things matter, because you're freaking dead. It's either you succeed or you die. There's no middle ground. Do you understand? I'll go in to see if this will work. I don't think so. It's a whole different attitude. Now, I'm not saying you have to live like that every day or every minute, but any level that you are less than that is a level that is like a mark against you, a stone against you. Something can take you out. You have to go with a warrior attitude, succeed or die. Succeed or die. That's it. Now, how many people think you could succeed if that was your only other option? Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Most people will succeed if it's easy. Let me just say this, another thing we work on that camp. You have to be willing to do what's hard. Here's a saying. If you are willing to do what's hard, life will be easy. But if you are only willing to do what's easy, life will be very hard. Yes or yes? Yes. This is critical that you understand this. I said it earlier, but you have to ingrain this. We're all waiting for things to be right before we can succeed, right? Everything in place. Well, guess what? It doesn't have to be in place, nor does it get into place. Here's the deal. Watch. Here's you. Here's let's call it the problem or the obstacle. Okay? Yes? Now, let's take a look. Here's the graph. This is 10. This is 1, size of you. 10, 1, size of the obstacle. Here we are. We have got a level 5 obstacle in retrospect, right? Level 5 obstacle here, yes? Now, let me ask you a question. To a person who's a level 2 person, is this a big problem or a little problem? It's a very big problem, right? But to a person who's a level 8 person, is this a big problem or a little problem? And to a person who's a level 10 person, what is it? It's no problem at all. It's like brushing your teeth. It's just something you do. You understand the difference? I'm going to say it again. I hope you repeat this. I hope you understand this. It is never the level of the problem. It's always the level of you. You got it? Your job is to get yourself and train yourself to grow bigger as a person than any problem that could possibly stop you. Yes? I hope you got that. At that camp, you're going to be trained to do that. Problems in your way? All right. What do we say, warriors, when there's something, a challenge in front of us? Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. You want to try me? You better try somebody else, because I'm taking you on. You understand what I'm saying? Most people, they see a challenge. What do? They start what? Backing up. Not a warrior. See a challenge? Bring it on. Bring it on. Different way of living, yes? You train yourself to not be stopped. Okay, what else did you learn? What'd you learn about your mind? Powerful, yes. What else? Commitment. Good, excellent. We're going right through it, yes? Yes? What'd you learn? Not to say I'll try. Good, you just frickin' do it. How many of you have the habit of saying, I'll try? Good, good. Now that is, that needs to be trained out of you. Let me just put that in. Yeah, you can say I'm gonna try, but it's a very weak stance. You understand? It's a weak stance. We'll cover that. All right, here's the thing I want you to get. That voice in here, that chatterbox in here, that mind going on here, that's not who you are, okay? That's just a recording, that's all it is, of past garbage and ways of doing things, lots of habits, whatever. You are not your mind. You got it? You are not your what? Mind. You are not your mind. You are much bigger and greater than your mind. Your mind is a part of you. It's a tool. It's a part of you, like your hand or your arm is a part of you. You wouldn't introduce yourself as your hand going, hi, I'm my hand, right? You wouldn't do that because your hand isn't you. You know, it's just a part of you. Now, what would you do if you had a hand that was like your mind? It was all over the place, up and down and scattered all over, right? And it was always telling you what to do. And it was always beating you up. What would you do if you had a hand like that? Cut it off, would you? Why? What did we say? It's a very powerful tool. What do we do with it? That's right. You manage it, you control it, you train it to work for you instead of against you. Why would you want to cut off the most amazing tool you could ever have? You understand what I'm saying? But you understand it. You understand why it's doing what it's doing, and then you train it to work for you instead of against you. Does that make any sense at all, yes? Good. And that's what we want to do there. So, the fact is simply this, that most people are not happy, and that most people are not peaceful, most people are not powerful, and most people are not as successful as they could be. And when it all boils down, there's a primary reason. Would you like to know the reason? Very simply this. Because most people live their lives based in their conditioned mind, their false self, their conditioned mind, who they learned to be versus their true self of who they really are. Now remember, your mind's job, your conditioned mind job is what? I can't hear you. What is it? Protection. And that's why it's constantly looking out for problems. And that's why, listen closely here, the entire mind-based system of living is actually based in problems and fear. Watch your life on a moment-to-moment basis. I guarantee the more this clicker is going, the more you're involved in fear. You make your decisions based in what? Fear and obligation and need. Yes or yes? Yes. You just watch yourself on a daily basis, moment to moment. And you watch how just about every minute there's some kind of fear going on, some kind of searching for problems, some kind of looking for what's wrong. Yes or yes? That's its job. It's normal for that part of you. So what's the answer to this? What's the answer to the problem? Well, the first thing is you can begin by reconditioning your mind. Yes? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes. Absolutely. Or, that's what we've been working on this weekend. Or you can take a shortcut and bypass the entire problem-based mind system altogether and learn to live in an entirely new way and train yourself to be, as we've been talking about, an enlightened warrior. An enlightened what? Warrior. So what is a warrior? When we say enlightened warrior, what do we mean? Listen closely. Here's the samurai definition that we use. One who conquers oneself. Say that with me. One who conquers oneself. Do you understand the distinction? It's not about you over anybody else. As soon as you are over yourself, manage yourself, train yourself, you don't have to be over anybody else. Big difference. By the way, just so you know, those who are like the control freaks, the power freaks, they are scared to death. Scared to death. They are living totally based in fear. You just have to have some compassion for them, right? And know where they're coming from. So, the next program that we're going to talk about here for just a moment is by far my favorite program, and it seems to be the case with just about everybody who's ever attended the program, all of our graduates. It is called the Enlightened Warrior Training Camp. And this is something I want to show you from this camp. Now, there's no secret about it. You will get one of these t-shirts, except for one thing. When I say get, that's a bit of a misnomer. Let me rephrase it. You will earn one of these t-shirts. Nobody has a t-shirt like this unless they've been to the camp, except for one human being. Because I felt that this certain human being, of all the people I know out there, was truly an enlightened warrior on this planet. And so when I met him and talked with him, I brought him a t-shirt. Would you like to know who it was? Deepak Chopra. Not that other people don't do great work, but I believe that he's truly an enlightened warrior, all right? And when I met with him and I gave him this shirt, you know what he said to me? He goes, Enlightened Warrior Training, he goes, you must be Harv Eker. And I go, I am. He says, I have heard about these camps. I've heard nothing but incredible things. He says, I wish half of my students and half of my family came to your camp. So we started making arrangements on that. You understand what I'm saying? You can be spiritual and you can be a spiritual warrior at the same time. You could be loving and you could be a loving warrior at the same time. You can be successful, you can be a successful warrior at the same time. One of the things I always say is that, you know, we know the power of our programs. They come directly from California, and they're top level over there, so we know that in Canada it's very unusual to have things like this here. At the same time, I always say this, without any tooting or anything like that, that at the beginning of a program, any of our programs, especially the camps like Warrior or something like that, beginning of a program, 95% of the quality and the effectiveness of the program comes from the design and facilitation of that program. Understand? But by the end of the program, 95% of the quality of the program comes from the people in the program. So you guys are what ends up making the program. Do you understand that? Your quality, your amazingness, your positivity. You know, you can choose. You can be a negative person, you can be a positive person. One is not more right than the other. One is not more true than the other. Do you get it? One is not even better than the other. But one will assist you towards happiness and success, and one will repel that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's your only choice. Which way do you want to? And you understand now that you're the one in charge of your attention. You decide what you allow your mind to say to you. And if something's coming in here that's not supportive, what do you simply say? Right? For right now, we gave you one technique. In Warrior Camp, where you're gonna have 16 techniques, 16 strategies to work with your own mind frick, all right? And you'll have a couple of favorites, and you just wrap right into there. So what are you gonna say? What are the 4 words? Thank you for sharing. That's all. Something comes in you don't like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this. Great, thank you for keep going. Simple as that. All right, so thank you so much for being here. And I want to leave you with a simple blessing, and it's the blessing of Namaste, which simply means this. It means I honor the place in you where the entire universe dwells, the place in you that is of love, of light, of peace, and of truth. And when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. We can't wait to see you again. Let's play together. You guys are freaking awesome. Big round of applause. One, two, three.